Here we go. Here we go again. Okay. I have to talk about a situation that takes place in the world today, and it is something that affects a lot of people today, and it is something that exists in every community, society in the world today. What is this exactly? It is people not taking the opportunity given to them to accept God before they die. This is predominantly this type of rejection is something that happens a lot in the world. People reject God continuously. They have been given, they were given, people had been given the opportunity to make peace with God and have taken it for granted and have died in the process. And this continues to happen incessantly. There are many traditions, many customs, many cultures, many type of upbringings, and our upbringing can affect our godly perspective. Our upbringing can be the reason of being derailed from being godly. A person can be brought up in a household in which Hinduism is practiced, Buddhism is practiced, and many type of ism are being practiced. When a person was brought up in a household in which idolatry is practiced, it's very difficult for that person to see God as God is to be seen. So your upbringing, your tradition, your culture can affect your outlook on God. And when something affects your outlook on God negatively, it's going to be very impervious to be penetrated with the truth. Some might say, well, how am I so sure that Christianity is the truth? How am I so sure that Jesus Christ is the truth? If we go back into history, we can see that Christianity is older than a lot of these religious practices. Christianity is older, and I do agree that the papacy has perverted the story of Jesus, and I do believe that the papacy is literally the cradle or the originator of religion. God does not have anything to do with religion. Religion is something, like I always say, has been created by mankind, aka the papacy. Everything in life has its origin, has its history, and it's important to investigate the history of whatever you are into to understand the root of it, which would lead you to know what you are dealing with. Christianity It's something that was not originated in Rome or Europe, because a lot of people think that the popes created Christianity, but Christianity was, the history of Christianity predates its entering into Europe or into Rome. There is a time in history when Rome and the entire European continent did not have any practice of Christianity or any type of teachings of Christianity. Before Christianity had entered Europe or Rome, the Romans and many countries in Europe, they were polytheistic. They were practicing the belief in many gods. So they were idolaters. Christianity got into Europe through the pilgrims and the apostles and so on. Okay? So the popes, they only took the story of Yeshua, Mashiach, and distorted to appease their wicked agenda. So Christianity go beyond the Roman system, because when you go and you do some historical investigation on Christianity, it always lead you to it always lead you to Rome and the papacy and things of that nature, or things of that area in history. So it is definitely factual that the papacy distorted the story of Jesus, which caused a lot of people to resent Jesus and consider Jesus to be a white man God. However, a lot of people are very inquisitive and very curious about Christianity and about who is the real God and which one of the religious denominations worship the real God. Because there's a popular question: if there is one God, why are there so many religions? Religion is something that was originated from mankind. Mankind is the progenitor of religion. Okay? Religion was born from, or was birthed from pride. It was birthed from the ideology of man. Okay? So Jesus Christ, or Yeshua Mashiach, is not the originator. It is not the inventor of religion. Jesus Christ has nothing to do with religion. Religion is something that was invented by mankind. However, when Christianity is presented, the first image that the whole world, or many people in the world, would see is religion. So I want people to understand that Jesus Christ is not about religion. Jesus Christ is about the works of righteousness, the works of his Father, and that is what he came to do. His purpose is to come to save man from hell and to give man hope and a chance to have everlasting life with God. And so that is the prime mission of Jesus Christ. However, it is very challenging for many people who were brought up in religious practice that were not about or are not about Jesus. Christianity is older than many of those religious practices. Christianity is older than the Muslim denomination, because the Muslim denomination came into the picture 600 years after Christianity. And many of those other religions came like many years after Christianity. So Christianity has its history, and there are physical things on this planet that corroborates with the story in the Bible. Many of the Bible stories, you can find historical landmarks or physical geographical things on earth that connect or relate or corroborate with the story and the Bible stories of Moses and the tomb of Jesus, where Jesus was buried, and the place he was crucified, and so on. Because everybody is looking for evidence, everybody is looking for tangible facts in order for them to be convinced that what they are or what they intend to believe is real. It's only normal to want to know that what you are getting yourself into is real. So what I want to say is, a lot of people have died and have had the opportunity to make peace with God, and they have not gotten the chance to repent as they died in the process. Many people are hoping to have a particular time to give their life to God. Many people believe in God, but they are waiting for a suitable time to surrender their heart to God. And many have died before they get to that time. And so I want people to understand that the devil's mission is to keep you lingering, keep you pending, so that you could lose your soul and go to hell. In Revelation 14:11, the Bible said that the people who will be cast into the lake of fire or the fire, they will not rest day or night. They will not rest day or night. They will not rest. There will be no rest day or night. And of course we know that only a living thing can experience restlessness. Because what happens is people misunderstand spiritual death with physical death. When something is physically dead, they cannot experience pain, they cannot experience memory, they cannot experience love, they cannot experience sex. A dead body cannot experience sex. Okay? There is no sex in the grave or in the coffin, unless some morgue undertaker is perverted and decide to do some freaky stuff with a dead body in a coffin in the morgue. You might be surprised, these things do happen. There are some real demonic perverted people. Like, you call that perversion on another level. However, spiritual death is when you are separated from God. The Bible said in 1 John 5 verse 12, he says, he that has the Son has life, and he that has not the Son has not life. And a lot of people have not the Son and they are still alive. You see, when Adam was told that he would die if he eat the fruit, he did die the day he ate the fruit, but he died spiritually. And 930 years after he physically died. Okay? So, you have physical death and spiritual death. Hell was made for the spiritually dead. Hell was made for angels. Matthew 25:41. It was made for the witchcraft spirits. I said witchcraft because a lot of people, they demand tangible evidence to prove if angels are real. Angels are real through, as the tangible evidence would be, witchcraft. Witchcraft is not just a name, it's not just a word, it is a real thing. People do connect to demons and they get demonic powers as the demons intervene and comply to their command, or the demon appease their desire. Like if a woman want a husband And there's a particular man might be on her job. She could go to a witch, and if the man is not protected by God, and she could do some charm and do some whatever, get some voodoo done or some witchcraft done, and that spirit would go and indwell the man, and the man would literally fall in love with the woman. All those things are possible because we are living in a world that is inhabited by demonic spirits, and we know that demonic spirits are not materialistic. They are spiritual. They are not visible. They are invisible to most people. Not because they are invisible doesn't mean that they are not real. They are all over. Just that they are not materialistic for the eyes to see. Now, I want to say that many people have died in 2019, just like in 2018 and in 2017 and 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Many people have died over the years, and many of those people were given multiple chances to surrender their heart, and instead they go and fornicate and masturbate and all type of baits so that they could appease the flesh, because the flesh is very stimulating. Living in the flesh is a stimulating thing, and you can be hooked to the flesh if you are a flesh type of person. What is the flesh? The wicked desire of sin. The wicked desire of sin is the flesh. And the wicked desire of sin is followed by pleasure. Pleasure. It is one of the most powerful things on planet Earth, pleasure. Most of the time, people are in whatever predicament they are in it because of pleasure. Sin is pleasurable. If it was not pleasurable, it would have been easy to serve God. Like when you're living in lawlessness, you could go home, get a Playboy book, you can get your cooking oil, or your Vaseline, or your coconut oil, and you could go in the bathroom, or you could go wherever, grab your wee-wee, and for the cheese that goes, crunch. You know what I mean. I don't have to go in details. Okay? But when you're Christian, you can't do that. You got to go home, and even if you feel tipsy to do it, you got to pray or read the Bible or look up in the sky and cry to God. You cannot juck yourself like some washing machine and then scream out like Tarzan. But when you are in lawlessness, you are free to do so much things. You could have your wife and still go and dip-dee-dee-doo-die with another female, and then come home and smile and said, honey, I'm home, you freaky, promiscuous freak. But that's what the world likes. They believe in Jesus, they believe in God, but if they turn to Jesus and turn to God, they have to drop their witchcraft and their masturbation and their 3 big bum, fake bum chicks down the street, or their muscular man down the road, and they have a husband. Like, it's awesomely sweet when you can do these things. I'm not gonna lie, because these things appease the flesh. This is one of the reasons why when Jesus Christ is talked about, people get offended, because you are confronted with the knowledge to let you know that you cannot have any more sex with those 2 chicks you have, knowing that you have a wife, or those 2 male you have, knowing that you have a husband. Maybe one of the male stuff is much different than your husband. And so you think that when you get to this male, it make you feel like beep beep. But in the end, you are going to go to hell. And so you need to understand that. People look for ways to appease the flesh, but in the end is hell. If the gospel come to you, repent and turn, because you don't know when you're going to die. And don't tell me once saved, always saved. The devil is a liar. Okay?